So I'm here at the Zimmerman Automotive Museum, and let's take a look at some of the different vehicles we have here. So I think it tells you what the car is here. This is a 1940 American, this is a 1940 American Bantam Deluxe Roadster. It says American Austin Car Company, founded in 1929, produced and sold a similar model to the British Austin 7. Okay, so this has a 22 horsepower, a wheelbase 75 inches, transmission 3-speed manual. Factory price was $462. Wow. Okay. So we have that. Then we have, if we come to look at this one, this is the 1949 Crossley station wagon. It says, in 1939, Crossley introduced its new subcompact Crossley Convertible. He claimed it would be affordable for everyone in America. It weighed less than 1,000 pounds, had a 2-cylinder air-cooled engine, and sold for $250. So this vehicle's factory price was $894, and this was the only model of it. Let's see what else we got here. We come to this vehicle here. This is a 1952 MGTD Roadster. It says during World War II, an estimated 3 million U.S. military personnel served in Britain. They became fascinated with the small cars they experienced there. When back in the U.S., when all the cars were much bigger and more expensive, they searched for an exciting European type sports car. And that's where this kind of came in. All right. See what else we got here. This is a 1954 Nash Metropol 1954 Nash Metropolitan Convertible. It says after World War II ended in 1945, more and more small imported cars appeared in the U.S. car market. Also, the two-car family was rapidly becoming a reality. So while most car brands were focused on larger models, Nash believed that the public was also ready for a smaller second car, the Metropolitan. By using the ever-growing international market for auto parts and labor, they set up a unique process. The car was designed by a team of American and Italian car stylists. All parts were manufactured and the cars assembled in England. They were marketed, sold, and serviced in the U.S. The process took advantage of lower foreign labor costs and kept the U.S. retail price as low as possible. The Metropolitan was the first post-war American model that was marketed specifically to women. Its first spokesperson was Miss America 1954. In 1954, the Miss America pageant was first broadcast on television, and the Metropolitan was its sponsor, with 27 million people watching. Since then, television has been a staple of automobile advertising. Factory price was $1,500. Okay. It's kind of cool. Let's see what we got here. Look at this vehicle here. This is a 1956 Morgan Convertible. Okay. 1956 Morgan Convertible. It says, in 1936, Morgan, after many successful years of producing a 3-wheel car, introduced its first 4-wheeler. It was named 4-4, indicating 4 cylinders and 4 wheels. It was low priced and had a sporty look and ride. Sales started slowly but gained momentum until interrupted by World War II. So this factory price was $2,500. It says in 1945, as the war approached, Britain's government began to ration raw materials but gave priority to those companies who exported their products. The policy became known as export or die. Very, very interesting. Beautiful car. Put that back there. All right, let's see what else we got. Look at this vehicle here. This is a 1959 Austin Healey 3000 Roadster. This factory price was about $3,800. Weight was about 2,500 pounds. It says in 1951, the Nash Corporation and British car manufacturer Donald Healey formed a partnership to produce the Nash Healey in the U.S. It was the first sports car introduced after World War II by a major American automaker, beating the Corvette, which was offered in 1953. At first, it was used as a marketing tool to spark interest in overall Nash sales. During the early 1950s, however, the car buying public in the U.S. and Britain wanted a more performance-based experience. So that's that vehicle there. This is the 1959 Austin Healey 3000 Roadster. Beautiful, beautiful car. All right, let's see what else we got here. This is what is this beauty here? This is a 1951 Corvair Monza Coupe. It says, during the 1950s, foreign car manufacturers proved there was a growing market in the U.S. for smaller, more fuel-efficient cars. At the time, U.S. automakers built only full-size cars with lots of power and extras. The exception to this was American Motors, who led the way to smaller and more fuel-efficient cars. In 1959, they introduced the new Rambler American, which had better gas mileage than most foreign cars, yet had more passenger room, a superior ride, and access to over 2,300 dealers for parts and service. So the factory price was about $2,200. This had about 80 at 4,200 RPM. Four-wheel hydraulic. 1961 Corvair Monza Coupe. Let's see this. Here we have a 1979 Honda Civic hatchback. Wow, okay. All right, it says the first Honda exported to the U.S. was the model N600 in 1969, which was replaced by the Honda Civic in 1972. During the '73 oil crisis, lower production from crude oil suppliers caused an almost 40% increase in the U.S. gas prices in 1 year. While customers rushed to buy small, high-mileage cars, Honda became a strong leader in the U.S. small car market. In '75, Honda introduced the amazing CVCC compound vortex controlled combustion engine. The new engine had a unique design that produced a much cleaner combustion and exhaust. It eliminated the need for both unleaded fuel and a catalytic converter to comply with the new and very restrictive U.S. emission standards. In addition, due to the emissions components not destroyed by using leaded fuel, the car owner could use any gasoline products available with California's even higher standards. Honda CVC innovatively led the small car market through a difficult economic and environmental challenge. The significant sales advantage earned by Honda CVCC continued the achievement of their first international automobile market success. Okay. I like that they put the information there, so if we want to read it, we got it. Okay, let's see what we got here. 1949. The frame and running gear you see on the floor is exactly what underlies the 1949 Crossley station wagon parked near it. Okay. So that is what is inside of that. Okay. All right, let's see what else we got here. All right, this is a 1949 Curtiss sports car. It says, the U.S. military personnel that served in Europe during World War II raved about the small, sporty sports cars like the British MG and Italian Fiat. After the war, most U.S. car makers agreed that a future sports car market was inevitable. A believer of the idea was Frank Curtiss, a well-respected and very successful race car designer and builder. His cars won 5 Indianapolis 500 races. Curtiss believed he could design and market the first two-seat aluminum body sports car in the U.S. He also proposed the use of removable plexiglass side windows and a removable hardtop. His unusual approach included the use of proven components from other car manufacturers. The car before you includes the chassis and the braking and suspension systems from a 1949 Ford. The power engine is a supercharged Studebaker 6-cylinder. Horsepower 160, wheelbase was 100 inches. Factory price was about $3,500. The 1949 Curtiss sports car. Okay. Got a lot of cars here, actually. Let's see what else we got here. This is the 1953 Buick Super 8 Woody. This car's been in the same family since No, it's a race car for many reasons. It's one of only 10 known to exist out of an original production of about 1800. This was the last American car to use real wood, so the last true Woody factory built in America. 1953 was also the introduction of Buick's famous nailhead V8 engine, known as a powerful engine often adapted for racing. So as you can see here on this vehicle, it has wood on it. So that's wood. So interesting how cars were built back then versus now. Such a vast difference. All right, let's see what else we got here. What is this bad boy here? This is a 1953 Mercury Monterey Woody station wagon. During the 1930s, Ford Motor Company was in second place to General Motors in overall sales. To improve their market share, Ford's first step was to introduce the 1936 Lincoln Zephyr. Its dramatic and innovative mix of aerodynamic and iconic design made it extremely popular and a market-wide success for Ford. All right. So this vehicle, when new, was about $2,600. It was a four-door, 6-passenger station wagon. Beautiful, beautiful vehicle. All right, let's see what else we got here. If we come here, we have the 1965 Studebaker Daytona. It says in the early 60s, the Studebaker Corporation was strapped for cash due to low sales and able to secure financing for future models. To save operating cash, they moved production to its Canadian plants in Hamilton, Ontario. In 1963, the company's president challenged industrial designer Brooks Steffens to create a model for the company while doing it as economically as possible. Steffens was already working on a similar model for Jeep called the Wagoneer. Both cars were introduced in 1963. Factory price was about $3,000. It was about 3,500 in weight and had about 195 horsepower. This was a 1965 Studebaker Wagoneer Daytona. All right, let's see what else we got here. Lots of vehicles. This is a 1955 Nash Rambler cross country. Transportation issues encountered by the U.S. military during World War II led to dramatic improvements in the American highway system after the war. During that time, families got larger and there was a surge in the closely related station wagon market. In 1954, Nash merged with Hudson and formed the American Motors Corporation. Crucial marketing decisions included elimination of the large Hudson models and an increased focus on smaller and more economic models. All right, factory price was about $2,000. 5-door, 5-passenger wagon. Weighed about 2,700 pounds. Horsepower was about 90. Beautiful vehicle. See what else we got here. So this is a 1965 Cadillac Coupe de Ville. To support the U.S. effort for World War II, Cadillac agreed to build airplanes, tanks, and cars for the military. Before the war started, Frank Hershey, head of General Motors' Advanced Design Studio, was shown the P-38 Lightning fighter plane, a secret military aircraft. It set his mind on a concept for a later automobile design. Kind of show you all what that looks like there. Cadillac, okay. It was about $4,600 back in 1956. Man, it's a beautiful car. They don't make them like that anymore, do they? Look how big it is. It's like a boat. Okay. Then we got a vehicle here. It says do not touch this one for some reason. Maybe it's broken. I'm not sure what this is. It says during the war, automakers learned the skills of innovation, flexibility, and production speed. Once raw materials were readily available and high-octane gasoline could be bought at the corner filling station, the auto industry was off to the races, literally. Okay. So, all right, I hope you guys enjoyed part 1.